When Theseus and Ariadne emerged from the darkness of the labyrinth, the faces of Catreus and the elite Cretan soldiers standing guard instantly hardened. But standing among them, Deucalion and Hippothous stared in wide-eyed shock. Hippothous trembled, his voice barely a whisper. "Theseus." The surprise quickly melted into pure joy. He threw his arms wide. "Theseus, you're alive. Now let's go home to Athens." Theseus nodded firmly. "Yes, we're all going back to Athens." Then he added with a meaningful glance, "And you're not the only one coming with me." "What?" Hippothous looked around, confused. "It's just us and a bunch of Cretan soldiers here." Theseus took Ariadne's hand, who had been standing silently beside him. "The one coming with us is Ariadne. She has decided to come with me to Athens." The air instantly froze. Catreus, a young man with sharp features and dark hair, reacted like a striking viper. "That's absurd, Theseus." His voice echoed off the labyrinth walls. "Taking the Princess of Crete from this island without the king's consent is treason. I knew you came here to challenge Crete, not just some beast." At his signal, the elite soldiers raised their weapons in unison. Theseus narrowed his eyes. "I don't want the throne of Crete, Catreus, but Athens will no longer be bound by a treaty with a king who demands such monstrous sacrifices. We hope for a new king to lead Crete, one who is friendly to Athens, someone we can cooperate with." Catreus sneered. "The Minotaur's death changes nothing. Crete is still Athens's overlord, and if I were to become king," he added mockingly, "I might even be a little kinder than my father Catreus." The cowardly warden, Theseus's eyes flashed with contempt. "A man like you is not worthy of the throne." He then raised his hand and pointed directly at Deucalion. "The man who should rule Crete is Deucalion." Catreus flinched, his smug expression faltering. He had been so focused on Theseus that he'd forgotten his greatest rival Deucalion was standing right there. Deucalion, a prince in his early 20s with a noble bearing, stepped forward, setting down his spear. "Theseus," he said, his voice clear and strong, "thank you." He then turned and bowed his head respectfully to Ariadne. "And thank you, Ariadne. I respect the courage it took to help a friend escape, even knowing it was part of Catreus's scheme. I also respect your decision to go to Athens." Theseus and Ariadne exchanged a look, their resolve strengthened by his words. Deucalion then turned to the soldiers and Catreus, his voice ringing with authority. "Everything Theseus has done was under the terms of the challenge approved by King Minos himself. You cannot attack a hero who has honored the king's agreement. I will not tolerate any order to do so." The soldiers hesitated, their hands wavering. One by one, they began to lower their weapons. Deucalion continued calmly. "However, the matter of taking Ariadne to Athens is for King Minos to decide, so we will all go to the palace together. We will present the victor of the labyrinth to the king and seek his formal approval." Catreus's face was a mask of fury and disappointment, but seeing the soldiers' obedience to Deucalion, he bit back his anger. "Fine. That is how it should be. Everyone, to the palace." The elite soldiers marched first. Theseus and Ariadne followed, their hands clasped tightly. Deucalion and Hippothous walked beside them. Upon arriving at the palace, Deucalion strode directly to King Minos. Standing behind the throne, Daedalus saw Theseus and let out a quiet sigh of relief. The hero had returned, and the truth of the labyrinth was about to be revealed. King Minos looked down from his throne, his gaze slowly passing over them. He fixed his eyes on Theseus. "Did you truly defeat the Minotaur?" Theseus met his gaze without flinching. "Yes, and with its death, the reason for the tribute is gone. As promised, Athens will no longer send its youth to Crete." He took a breath, his voice steady. "And, King, your daughter Ariadne has chosen me. If Crete truly respects a woman's freedom, you will allow her to make her own choice." In a corner of the court, Ariadne's sister Phaedra watched with a sad expression, her head bowed. Deucalion stepped forward. "Father, Theseus is a hero I acknowledge, and he is the Prince of Athens. Ariadne's choice will benefit the future of both Athens and Crete. I ask that you grant his request." Catreus stood silently, seething with impotent rage. King Minos slowly rose from his throne. "Very well. Theseus has slain the Minotaur, and I will honor my promise," he declared in a powerful voice. "From this moment, the treaty requiring tribute from Athens is abolished." But the king's voice boomed through the great hall. "I cannot forgive you for seducing my daughter and plotting to escape my labyrinth without my permission. I cannot forgive this attempt to abduct the princess of Crete." He gestured sharply. "Catreus, arrest Theseus at once." Instantly, the elite soldiers moved like lightning, surrounding Theseus and Ariadne. Ariadne's face went pale with fear, while Theseus glared back at the soldiers, his expression a mixture of shock and fury. The air in the palace of Crete grew taut, as sharp and dangerous as a blade's edge.